Well, another day, another round of Euro Fantasy. Hello guys, welcome to FPL Mate. My name is Dan. We're back at it again. Match day 2. Match day 1 was tough. Anyone else find match day 1 really tough? I really did, personally. It was like all of the top scoring, like expected top scoring players just didn't really come off. It didn't really come off, did it? We saw no Ronaldo, no Fernandes, no Kane, no... Well, Mbappe got 4 points because he got the yellow card and then he got injured. Who else didn't perform? Lukaku. It's like everyone who we thought was going to do well today. Oh, yeah, today. Last week. Unfortunately, did not. A lot of defenders disappointing as well. Belgian defence let us down. Italy defence let us down. Germany defence let us down. Difficult to predict this this tournament so far. But the good thing is that things hopefully should, regress to normality. Transporter says, what you mean is your tips never really came off. We can only make predictions for the future. If anyone... I didn't see anyone coming here saying, I think Kane, Lukaku, Ronaldo, DeMarco, Fernandes, I think they're all going to score. I think they're all going to blank. I don't think any of them are going to score any points. I didn't see anyone saying that. And why would you? That would be a pretty dumb thing to say. But look, that's the way of football. You can't always predict everything. And therefore, it's it's difficult. You can only play the odds, though. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're trying to play the odds. And I think we can, if we continue to do that, then yeah, I think things will balance out. It's very difficult to predict individual match days, but hopefully over the course of several match days, things will look a little bit better. Milan Extra says, stunning shirt. That, yeah, absolutely. One of my shirts of the season. It maybe even be my shirt of the season for last year. Looking forward to seeing what might be the shirt of the season for the next year. The only other shirt of the season possibly is another Italian league shirt, actually. This one. 2 shirts of the season for me. Pretty good shirts. Let's hear some scores from match day 1 then. Miles in the chat says, I've had a mare match day 1, 35 points. Can anyone go lower than 35 points? I want to see. Malrose says, oh wait, no, he's just saying the number 30 is not actually how many points he scored, which is interesting. Favorite match day 1 game? Oh, definitely Turkey versus Georgia. That was a real game. Yeah, which is crazy because going into that game, I was kind of like, I've watched every single game match day 1 so far, and I went into that game thinking, if I'm gonna skip a game, I will probably skip this one. But I kind of said, oh, okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it anyway. I was doing some I was doing some video making anyway, so I thought I'll stick on in the background. And within the first 10 minutes, I was like, okay, this is gripping. This is gripping stuff. It looks like most people got scores around the 40s mark, which I think is about right. It's about average. Yeah, I get it. Let's have a look at my team. Anyone who got above like 60 points, it's like, how have you managed that? I mean, I know how you've managed that. You've managed it by having like, you need like one of Ericsson, Gula. I mean, captain help if you nailed the captaincy, which not many people did. But basically, if you captain someone if you captain like a Germany player or Bellingham, then those are the only people who seem to have got any captain points. Everyone else who, kept skipping the captains to the players who should have been great captain picks, it didn't really work out, did it? Didn't really work out at all. Anyway, we've got the Croatia team news going to come out in 55 minutes. So I'm sure we'll be able to react to that and make some decisions based on that. This is my situation. Oh, Danny Carvajal, yes. Anyone who had Danny Carvajal, by the way, owned by like 15% of the game, by the way. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. Didn't really like him as a pick. And then he scores his first ever international goal. That is how unpredictable match day 1 was. One of the highest scoring players were like Carvajal scoring his first ever international goal. And Unai Simons saving a penalty as well. Crazy stuff. Can't always predict everything though. And I think, having these odd players that aren't necessarily predictable players who have that potential, I guess, are gonna have that potential to get you points. Anyway, this is my team. I've got 3 players that I'm thinking about removing: Shaqiri, De Kuyper, and Mbappe. Guys, this morning on Shaqiri, who was a real surprise for a lot of people around the world that he didn't start and didn't get any minutes. The situation there was really that I decided, okay, let's try and find out, is Shaqiri actually going to play today? I'm not sure if we're going to get any team news for that 8 o'clock game, but if we do, obviously that will impact things. But assuming we don't, I need to make a decision based on that. And for Shaqiri, well, what I read in a Swiss newspaper article, yes, in Swiss, had to translate it, is that apparently the Scotland game is not really a game that is going to suit Shaqiri. And therefore it would make a lot of sense to bench Shaqiri again, which has made me actually rethink my plans a little bit. I was planning on selling De Kuyper, but I wonder if I can get a little bit more value, points per million, out of switching out Shaqiri, because if neither De Kuyper or Shaqiri or Mbappe are going to play, then I need to remove 2 out of 3. I'm not going to take any -4s this week. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, I can just, if particularly for a defender, you can just as easily get a 6-pointer from a defender as you can get a 2-pointer from a defender you might not necessarily actually want, which you probably will end up with at least one of them. Super chat from Freddie says, Eriksen to Musiala or Trossard to KDB, Jude, Musiala. I would, based on performance, Trossard I thought had a pretty poor game. Eriksen is, he's a better player. I think Trossard is kind of lower floor, higher ceiling, because I think I actually like Belgium's game. Eriksen, however, I can't really see him getting anything against England. And therefore, for me, the kind of style of management, I like the high risk, high reward management. I would prefer to go the Eriksen to Musiala move and just pray that Trossard starts, although it's a big risk. But yes, Mbappe has to leave. Guys, I don't know if you guys have seen the news, but it looks pretty... I don't want to say certain, nothing's ever certain, but it looks pretty likely at this point that actually Mbappe is going to be unavailable for this match day. You can't really be surprised by that. He's broken his nose. He's going to need to get a mask fitted if he's going to play any part in the rest of the tournament. I don't think he'll be out for too long. He could be back by the end of the group stages, but again, I doubt that. We're probably looking at quarterfinals before Mbappe is back. So just be aware of that. And I think, therefore, Mbappe is a pretty easy sell. I think Kai Havertz and Harry Kane would be the 2 players I'd be most likely to buy as replacements. And if you can't get to those players for whatever reason, then I guess there are some differentials. I guess we'll go through. So, yeah, first of all, Lukaku, Ronaldo, Kane, and Havertz, I think, are the 4 best forwards for matchday 2. So if you can, get one of those in. Obviously, that's kind of more difficult. So, for example, if I was to go for Musiala, I'd be tripled up on Germany, and I wouldn't be able to actually afford to go for Harry Kane in this team. So, at that point, we need to kind of go outside the box a little bit. So let's talk about some forwards. Particularly some slightly cheaper ones. So, Lewandowski wouldn't go there. Austria proved that they are a tough game. Organised, hard-working, scrappy. Very impressed by Austria defensively. And considering that Lewandowski is not particularly looking, there's no positive signs really coming that he will start. I think there's a chance he starts. I think there's a chance he gets some minutes, but nowhere near the risk, particularly given the opposition is actually a pretty tough one. A half-fit Lewandowski against a very tough Austrian defence is not something I'd like to do personally. After that, we do have the likes of Griezmann. I like Griezmann for his penalty. He'll be on penalties with Mbappe out. Free kicks, corners, all the stuff we like. However, playing quite deep. Quite deep in the midfield, and his recent international record is not particularly good. So kind of difficult there for Griezmann. He just hasn't been putting up the numbers that we want to see from him recently, and therefore, does that rule him out? Possibly. Morata wouldn't go there. Potential injury, difficult fixture against Italy. Dembele, not really interested in wingers. Giroud, not really worth it for rotation risk, as with Kolo Muani. Chiesa, you're not going to get against Spain. And we have players like Dovbyk. There's some potential there. I think a lot of people like the look of Dovbyk for matchday 1. Didn't really come off, but matchday 2 is a new matchday. And he's an interesting shout, if nothing else. After that, we're probably looking at players like a Mitrovic. I don't mind. Let's look at Budimir first. Budimir, don't mind him. Albania fixture for Croatia. If he starts again in the central striker position, he had a good season at Osasuna this year. I think he scored 17 goals. Any La Liga fans can verify that, or Osasuna fans. I doubt there's any Osasuna fans in the chat, but if there is, make yourself known. But I believe it was 17 goals. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. So, yeah, some potential there. We've got hzfCWh against Serbia, if you want to go there. Not too impressed by the Slovenian attack in the opening fixture, to be honest, yeah. But hzfCWh, we know, is a top quality player, expecting a big tournament for him. And, you know, Serbia did well in the end against England, keeping the scoreline low, but you do have to wonder if they're going to maybe push for a win in this second fixture. Because this is, if Serbia are going to get a result in this group, it's got to be against Slovenia. So maybe they'll come out their shell a little bit, and hzfCWh might be unleashed a little bit more. It's a risky one, but I don't hate it. A couple more super chats here. Freddie says, who would you bring in out of KDB, Jude, and Musiala? If I could only choose one, I'd choose Musiala. AlfPL says, yes, Dan, Griezmann or Lukaku for Limitless Matchday 2. Oh, Lukaku, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Oh, speaking of Budimir and Croatia, Fabio says, love Kramaric for this match day. Kramaric played a little bit wider. We've seen actually a trend of Kramaric. Let's go Kramaric transfer market. Actually, we've seen a trend of him playing not as a striker for Croatia recently. So if we look through here, you can see last 2 games he played in the left wing position. He's been playing some games at right wing. He's been playing some games behind the striker as well. So he's not as central. And he is kind of being substituted a little bit earlier than some other players. So I'm not actually too keen on Kramaric personally, to be fair. David says, Budimir did have 17 goals this season. Yes. Ball knowledge on point. Ball knowledge on point. Kramaric's birthday. I didn't know that. Is it actually? Can we confirm that? Is it his birthday? How old is he? Like 30 by now? 33. Whoa. Born 19th of June. Happy birthday, Andre Kramaric. Now, you know, if you fancy a player to get a birthday goal, fair enough. But I think I would prefer a more central striker. Thoughts on Vlahovic? Yeah, he's another player who's kind of in this discussion. Again, though, kind of playing off Mitrovic a little bit. Come on. Wait, no. Yeah. Wait, is he? Is it because they played in a 2, right? Yeah, they played in a 2. Mitrovic and Vlahovic. So I feel like Mitrovic was kind of the main striker. And Vlahovic kind of, I don't know, felt off him a little bit. Also, I mean, you look at these numbers, like he hasn't scored a goal in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last appearances. Hasn't scored in over a year for his country. That's not exactly encouraging. I don't know. But, I mean, saying that, if Matchday 1 is anything to go by, it's going to be very difficult to predict who will score. And maybe some players who haven't scored in a while might be the guys who score. Sean, thank you very much for the £1 super sticker. No message attached there, though. Tom Connors says, Kante and DeMarco or Guardiola and Jorginho? I mean, neither, really. I guess Guardiola and Jorginho. I guess. Honestly, I'm not expecting Kante to get man of the match every game. It did happen, but will it happen again? Difficult to say. So yeah, actually I did. Hang on, I have pre-prepared something, a tweet from FPL Salah. So this is a tweet from FPL Salah, which has all of the goal scoring probabilities, and this is based on a player starting. This does not mean that these players are going to start, but this is based on the players starting their game. And these are the odds. So Ronaldo's coming out on top, highest goal scoring odds of any player in Matchday 2, followed by Lukaku, followed by Fulkrog, assuming he starts, but I think we already have the confirmation that Fulkrog is not going to start, so you can pretty much ignore Fulkrog. And then we've got Kane and then Havertz. So yeah, as I mentioned, Ronaldo, Lukaku, Kane, Havertz are the top 4 forwards for Matchday 2. They just are. And after that, we do see the likes of Mitrovic or Musiala. Musiala is not forward, but definitely very interesting. The difficulty is, can we find another forward? I mean, if we're just playing the odds, if for my team, if I'm literally just playing the odds, I go for Musiala and Mitrovic. Those would be the two players I'd pick. Easy. However, I'm just not super convinced. I guess Mitrovic is a penalty taker. It would be a big risk if I was to go for Mitrovic, but could it be interesting? I don't know. I'm just not really completely sure. Ash says, don't fancy Lukaku against that Romania defence. Did people actually think the Romanian defence looked that good? I thought Romania, Ukraine, certainly for the first 15 minutes of the game, were all over Romania. They were all over them. It looked like it was going to be a kind of a big Ukraine win. Looking at the opening of that game, I think Ukraine actually for a lot of the game did have a lot of moments, but they got caught out, from a couple of goalkeeper mistakes, and the game changed very quickly after that. So I don't want to knock Romania because I know there's some Romanian people watching this right now. I've been watching the videos, and every time I've said, I think Belgium might be able to score against Romania, they've been very, very angry and said, no, Romania is the greatest team that has ever existed, and there is no team on planet Earth capable of scoring against the mighty Romanians in their fancy yellow kit. They are the new Brazil in their yellow kit. But if I'm totally honest, yeah. Ash says all over them in bad, non-threatening areas. Not really. If you're in and around the box, which they were, and you have players like Lukaku and De Bruyne and Doku and players like that, that is the difference. That is the difference between having the ball in those areas and doing something with it, and perhaps not doing something with it. Thoughts on Shaqiri starting? It's not looking good, Brev. Romanian accent. We're not going to do a Romanian accent. I'm not even sure I can do a Romanian accent, to be honest. Michael says, is Guardiola being overhyped for this week? I think, yes, he is. I think he is a good pick. I don't think he is anywhere near an essential pick. Lukaku misses everything, other than the 2 times he did put the ball in the back of the net. And both of the goals were disallowed. Yes, he did miss everything other than the 2 times he didn't miss and very much scored. How's Ronaldo at the top of the list? I don't know. He's just got a good fixture against a Turkey side that have struggled a lot of times during qualifying, and in friendlies, and have conceded goals. Who did definitely look like they could be got at against Georgia. It was the best game of like I was kind of mentioning earlier. It was the best game because it was much more open. And I think you put this Portugal team against a slightly more open team like Turkey, and they could really cook. So yeah, I could definitely understand why Ronaldo, player on penalties, free kicks, playing in a very, very favourable fixture for one of the best teams in the tournament. I can understand why he is favoured to be the top scorer of this week. Definitely can see it. Thoughts on Mbolo? Yeah, Mbolo is definitely a player I had a look at. My issue with Mbolo is that he has been injured for such a long time. And he only really came back for the Switzerland game. He's like got barely any minutes over the course of the domestic season at Monaco. And he came on, played, about 15 minutes for Switzerland? 10, 15 minutes. Came on, obviously scored in that game. And I think if he was to start, you'd like the look of him, right? Playing as a central striker for this Swiss team against Scotland. But I don't know if he's ready for anywhere near to 90 minutes. Anywhere near. A couple of other interesting forwards on this list, by the way. Jota I'd probably leave due to rotation risk, but Schick and Gregoritsch, I think are definitely worth talking about. Schick is a bit of a Czechia hero, I suppose. And I thought that was very, very interesting to see him play again against Portugal. Obviously, it didn't really work out because Czechia just spent their entire game in their own half. But they're coming up against Georgia next, which is it's the opposite end of the spectrum. Really, when it comes to fixture difficulty, we're talking about going up against one of the top teams of the tournament, where you really do have to be super careful against a team like Portugal, all the talent they have, all the way to like the other end, which is Georgia, very much coming into this tournament as underdogs. And after losing their first game and knowing they're playing Portugal in their third game, they're going to have to come out and play. Georgia are going to have to come out and play, particularly if they go a goal down. If Czechia go a goal up in that game, then we could be talking cricket scores here. And you would imagine that Patrick Schick would be the main beneficiary of that, given that he is the main goal threat for his team. And one of the most senior players for their team. We saw, I don't know if you guys watched the commentary, but something they kept saying in the commentary is, this Czech Republic team is so young. These really are a young and fairly inexperienced team. And then you've got players like Patrick Schick who do provide a little bit of much needed experience to that team. And he'll be on penalties as well, most likely. Griezmann not even on the list. And I wouldn't be too surprised by that one. I mean, if we scroll down a bit, can we find him? We can find him down 27%. So he is on there. But that's not super high. Although, if you factor in assists as well, you would maybe put Griezmann a little bit higher on this list. Finn says thoughts on Lukaku for Wildcard. Yeah, easy. Best Switzerland attacker. I'm struggling with the best Switzerland attacker myself, to be honest. Thomas says Schick is on pens 100%. Well, there you go. That's good to hear. I definitely can understand a reason to go for Schick. It's just such a good fixture against a team that need a win. A draw is not going to cut it for Georgia. They need to win that game. Otherwise, they're out of the tournament. Czechia have a little less pressure on them because they do have that final game against Turkey. But they'll be wanting to go through in second place, and they have the ability to do that. I think they probably are the second best team in their group as well. Probably. It's difficult to say. Vesso says Dua is the best Swiss attacker based on one match day. Yes. But I mean, I think it's a little early to say. I think a lot of people will overreact to one match day, which is fair enough. For a lot of people, one match day is all of the data they have to go off. So yeah, if you fancy him to go again, you think it's going to be his big breakthrough tournament, then fair enough. But I've only seen him play one game in my life, and for what I'm aware of, he's not played games for Switzerland in the past anyway. I don't think he's a particularly prolific goal scorer in general. Am I getting the right player here? Let's have a look at Dua. Also, doesn't he... Oh, I've messed this up. Right, let's have a look. Someone says he's had a good domestic season. So, how good was his domestic season? Okay, 10 goals in 20 games. Which sounds pretty good. Until you look at the league he's playing in. It's the Bulgarian league. This is the Bulgarian league, isn't it? Yeah, Ludogorets. Bulgaria. And yeah, it wasn't. Apparently, it wasn't his first game for Switzerland, but it was his first start for Switzerland. Yeah, it looks like it was his first. Yeah. No, second start. Well, first time playing more than 45 minutes for Switzerland. So the sample size is small. He scored 10 goals in the Bulgarian league. No disrespect to the Bulgarian league, but this doesn't scream to me reliable Euros start. And fair enough. If he can manage it and become a star of this team, then fair enough. But with, these fantasy games, I need a player that can give me a little bit more confidence and a little bit more consistency than that. And Dua hasn't so far done that for me, unfortunately. But maybe soon. There you go. Apparently, some people are going to be watching some ads right now. Shout out to those of you guys who are YouTube Premium users who aren't using ads, or maybe you're using ad blocker. In which case, naughty, don't use ad blocker because that means the creator is not supported. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced by Dua personally. There's just not enough evidence there. There's not enough evidence there. I think there's definitely some other interesting picks. I think Dua is very much a punty player. I think there's other punty players that can give us a little bit more confidence. And that would be players like Mitrovic, Schick, who I'm very tempted by Schick. Because I basically have a choice. Bellingham and Havertz, or Musiala, and pick a more interesting forward, such as Schick. Tough one. At least if I go for the Schick route, I get a guaranteed penalty taker. Rohan says 200,000 subs. I don't think we're quite there yet, my friend. How close are we, though? I should probably check. How close are we? Oh, wow. We are 501 subscribers of 200,000. Guys, this is going nuts. Really, guys, thank you so much for everyone who has been subscribing and supporting the channel recently. My target was to... hang on, I'll just show you. What am I doing? We need to go this. My target, which is down there, here, was 200,000 subscribers by the final. We might do it way sooner than that. Crazy. Thank you so much for everyone who's been supporting the channel. Legends. But there we go. So yeah, maybe I'll go for Schick. Could be an interesting one. Musiala and Schick. I do like the sound of that. Bruno says new sub. Legend. Matthew says make it 500 to go. What should I write? 500 to go? I don't know. Ignaz says, but I'm unsubbing after the Euros until the World Cup. Damn. Well, you know what? I just gives more motivation to gain more subscribers, I suppose, if I'm going to lose some after the Euros. Sarah says, opinions on Romanian attacking picks like Man and Stanciu. Stanciu I like. Set piece taker, obviously scored a brilliant goal in Matchday 1. However, moving through the tournament, next game against Belgium, I think the time to go for him was Matchday 1. And now not so much. It's a tough fixture. So Hill says, thoughts on Mikhail Tadzi against Czech for Skamaka? I'm not really too bothered about him, to be honest. He's okay. I feel like we do a bit better than that when we're looking for new forwards. Matthew says, and you had 501 to go. Now you subscribed. Oh, legend. Yeah, it looks like 17 of you just subscribed. So, yeah, heroes. Thank you so much. Adam says, would you keep De Kuiper if you did that? Yes, I would, but I'd be playing the attacking upside of the attacking players and just taking the L and playing with 4 defenders pretty much. Because I think with Mbappe out and Shaqiri probably going to be out, then either way, I'm going to have to play with 14 men. And I'd rather play with 4 defenders than with 4 midfielders or 2 forwards. So that makes the decision a little bit more straightforward. Of course, if there's any news that Shaqiri is in line for a start this evening, then things potentially change, but I don't know. But to Kuiper, I would say the chances here of him starting against Romania are not particularly high. Although, saying that, Carrasco at left back, did it work? I mean, clearly not, because Belgium didn't win the game. I don't know. The problem is with De Kuiper is that his matchday 2 fixture is all the way at 8 o'clock. So we're not going to have the news whether he starts or not. So unless you've got like a 1-pointer or a 0-pointer player in your starting 11, you're probably not going to bring him on because you'll just end up losing points if he doesn't start. And that's the difficulty with him. What was Carrasco's? Let's go Belgium versus... I've forgotten who they played now. Slovakia match ratings. Let's go here. I don't know why. Match rating. I just want the match ratings really, so I can decide if I think Carrasco is in line to get dropped or not. Because I wasn't really, if I'm totally honest, when I was watching that game, I wasn't focusing too much on Carrasco because I was so frustrated with Lukaku. Let's go. What's a good website for match ratings? What is that website? I used this website before. Guys, any recommendations for match ratings websites? Insert name in the chat. Please do stop spamming, or we may be forced to mute. FootMob. Yeah, FootMob's probably the shout, isn't it? FootMob. Are you gonna? No, I don't want this though. I want the match report. Will I just have it here? Oh, here we go. Yeah, that'll do. 6.9. It's not one of the top performers. I mean, Trossard and Doku were really the ones stinking out the place, weren't they? So, FOTMob has Carrasco at 6.9. SofaScore has him at, let's see, has him at 7.1. Really? I wouldn't have said he had a better game than someone like Without Face. Okay. Is that enough, though? Is that enough to bench him for De Kuiper? Matchday 2? I don't know. Probably not. If we're totally honest with ourselves, probably not. It's not a bad. He didn't have a stinker. It was just a weird decision to play him at left back. Is Teat going to be back? I mean, there's possibility there as well. I guess there's potential for us to get some news, and if so, then we might change our decisions. But yeah, I would say the chance of De Kuiper starting is like 20% chance. It's not high at all. It's probably not going to happen. Josh Tummons, thank you very much for the super sticker. It appears to be, oh, there's a super sticker of a, is it guy dribbling? Very nice, Josh. Giroud opinions, please. Can if you want. A little risky. Little risky. Best De Kuiper replacement depends on your budget, really. Vidmar, Share, Akanji, I like from Switzerland. Germany defenders already good. Always good if you haven't got any already. Josko Guardiol. Who's that other? There's another Croatian defender. Sutalo. Not bad. Thoughts on Arda Güler? Yeah, really good goal. Really good goal. I don't know if I'd necessarily be rushing to buy him, but, you know, if you're looking just for a cheap player for your team, then I guess he works. Why don't you go for Havertz and Bellingham? That's my other option. Is Havertz or Bellingham or Musiala and find an interesting forward to go for. Havertz and Bellingham is probably the sensible choice if we're totally honest. But looking through the odds, through the goal-scoring odds, actually does suggest that a combination of like a Mitrovic and a Musiala or a Schick and a Musiala might be more effective. Or even a Gregoritsch and a Musiala, who's definitely someone I've had a look at before. Gregoritsch on penalties, by the way? Can't remember. I think he's on penalties. Definitely a player for some consideration. Sandra says Major and Ronaldo or Bellingham and Schick. I'm going to say Major. Is it Major or Mayer? Majer? Maher? Majer. I'll go for the Ronaldo route anyway. Ronaldo's the best. Ronaldo, for me, is the best pick of Matchday 2. A lot of people asking me about Giroud for some reason. Why do we feel so confident about Giroud? Is it because people assume that because Mbappe is injured that Giroud is going to take his place? Oh, Sabitzer on pens. Are you sure about that, Hugo? Sabitzer on pens? Because I'm sure, if I remember rightly, when I was doing research for the Austria set piece takers videos, there was a little bit of variety on who was taking penalties, and it was a little bit more difficult to predict. But I think Gregoritsch, was the conclusion I came to. Can't remember though. Here for FPL says, hey Dan, 40 points in Matchday 1. For Matchday 2, sell 1 for Musiala, Rodri, Shaqiri, or Szoboszlai. I'll definitely Shaqiri. Also, De Kuiper for Guardiola for a -4. I would not take a -4 for a defender. I would not. But yes, Shaqiri would be the guy I say. I mean, Shaqiri you don't even have guaranteed minutes for. At least with Rodri and Szoboszlai, you have minutes, and that's half the battle. So how do we actually expect France to line up? Is it like Kolo Muani or Thuram? Like, if we go to this game, is it going to be Giroud centre, Thuram left? Is it going to be Kolo Muani? I don't know. I don't know. It is so tough to say. FPL Cam, no, I don't think Mbappe will play. Not this match day, anyway. I prefer Lukaku to Kane for an Mbappe replacement, but Kane is still good. Juddy Sports has just subbed from Down Under. Thank you very much, Juddy Sports. It's kind of risky, isn't it? Because it's going to be one of Giroud or Kolo Muani, basically, isn't it? But we don't know which one. And therefore, you probably just avoid both. They're playing the Netherlands anyway. To be fair, Netherlands do like conceding against the top teams. It's risky. Is Thuram actually the safer guy to go for? But his goal scoring record at national level, is it all that? No, it really, really isn't. No. I think it's too difficult to select a France forward, and therefore I'll probably give them all a miss, other than maybe Griezmann, because you know you've got the set pieces at least. Anthony says, hey mate, what's your thoughts on bringing in Modric for Szoboszlai? It feels a little luxury. Yes, Modric has the better fixture. I don't think he played particularly well opening fixture. And yeah, it's a nice game against Albania. It could pay off. But Szoboszlai is not a bad player. You know, I don't think anyone needs to sell Szoboszlai. He's a player you can sell if you've got a really nice upgrade in mind. I don't think Modric really is that nice really nice upgrade. I mean, he's fine. He's good. But, you know, if you was to say, okay, Szoboszlai... Basically, Szoboszlai is not bad enough to justify a Modric upgrade. It's not... Modric is a good pick, I would say. But he's not enough of an upgrade on Szoboszlai. A player like Musiala or Wirtz or Bellingham or Bruno Fernandes, these players, it's like, yeah, that's worth the upgrade for sure. But, yeah, Modric, yeah, if you really have nothing else to do, then sure. Absolutely. People talking about selling Gundogan as well. Not really. I don't really think you need to sell Gundogan. That's super luxury. That is really, really luxury. And it's points chasing as well. You're just looking at the first match day and saying, oh, that other player got more points, so that means that other player's going to get more points every week. Often not the case. Unless you're also saying that Lukaku, Ronaldo, Fernandes and Kane aren't scoring a single goal during this tournament, which I can't quite see happening. Musiala or Wirtz. If money is an issue, then you go for Wirtz. But if money is no object, then you go for Musiala. Is Guardiola the best defender for this week? Probably. Probably up there, isn't he? I'd say the Germany defenders are also players worth talking about. Not bad. Right, let's have another look at Patrick Schick. Because I think this is where my brain is going right now for the kind of slight differential here. So, also obviously he was injured like the whole season, wasn't he? Because he couldn't really play much for Leverkusen. But whenever he's played for Czech Republic, he's done well. Performed last Euros as well. That was 3 years ago. Scored against North Macedonia in a friendly, but failed to score against Norway and Armenia. Scored against Switzerland, but that was in 2022. It's risky. He has a history at least. He does have a history at least. And he did okay at club level when he was playing, if I remember correctly. So, yes. So when he did come back in towards the end of the season, he did get... Yeah, he got some results there. Final games of season 1, 2, 3... Well, so if we look at starts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he scored in 4 out of 5 of his last starts for Leverkusen. Europa League. Where's Europa League? Didn't really start the Europa League towards the end, but did well in the group stages. He hasn't lost it, has he? He might be the one for me. It's an interesting one. I don't think too many people will go for Schick. What's his percentage ownership? 2%. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. Odds look good as well. 36%. Musiala and Schick. Penalty taker. You know, I think that might be the one for me, guys. I think that might be the one for me. It's not the only option, but I think if I was to advise other people, I'd probably suggest a slightly safer Havertz and Bellingham. But I do like to see if we can find a difference maker. I mean, in fantasy games like this, because they're so short, the only real way to get a great rank is to hit on a differential, hit on a player who hasn't who isn't owned by too many people. And you say that Schick against Georgia has that potential. Robbie says, do you rate Fass? About Fass? Yes, I do. I do rate him. I think he's great for 4 million. Benjamin says, I'm looking at either Schick or Kramaric. Yeah, I had a look at Kramaric. I'm not as keen on Kramaric because he plays quite wide or deep. Adam says, get rid of DeMarco or Trossard. Each one comes with their own risks. Aero says, any chance for you to use your wildcard or Limitless for Matchday 2? There's no chance for me to use them, no. But only a lot of people are. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you really hate your team, then you should do it. Donoric says, but Schick is on the same match day, same day as Romelu and CR7. That's fine. I wouldn't be captaining Schick no matter what. I have absolutely no plans on captaining Schick. So that doesn't really concern me, to be honest. Schick also played 60 minutes. I think that's a good thing. Rested against Portugal. Czechia weren't attacking anyway, so it wasn't really needed. And back in for the next game. Don't mind that. Will Trossard start? Based on performance, maybe not, but I think he will. No England player? I've got Saka in there. Saka's my England player. Bellingham versus De Bruyne. Thoughts? I think I'm leaning towards De Bruyne for this match day. Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards De Bruyne. Both great though. Both great. Not too much in it. Go with your gut. Why not Kane? I can't afford Kane. If I want to go for Musiala, I can't afford Kane. I would rather sacrifice Kane, I think, than and go for a different one. Billy B says, you're definitely putting in Vargas, Dan. I don't think I am, my friend. I really don't think I am. Bit annoying with subs with all three forwards on the last day. Well, no, it's fine because I have a few players who are playing the last day. Kuiper would be playing the last day. Face would be playing on the last day, so they'll go on the bench immediately. And then I'll put one of the forwards, probably Schick, on because Lukaku and Ronaldo, I'm going to play no matter what. Like, let's be totally honest. If I get a player even on 4 points, I'm probably still going to bring in a Lukaku or Ronaldo for that worst player, even if they're on 4 points. And I'm not expecting for all of my players to score more than 4 points. That would be ridiculous if that were to happen, and I'd be very happy with my score. And I'd probably still bring in a Lukaku or Ronaldo. So yeah, it would be De Kuiper and Face and Schick on the bench, and that would be fine by me. We'd have loads of players playing on the last day. But I think that's where the points are at. I think the points are really day 1 and day 4 for this match day. Day 2 and 3, yeah, I think there's less points on offer in those days. So it's going to be make or break. But yeah, what is the issue of all of your forwards playing on the same day? I don't really understand what the problem is there. It seems fine to me. Remember, there's only 4 days per match day now. Or only 4 days. And particularly when you look at... I need to open up a new tab, really. When you look at the fixtures... I know they're on screen anyway, but when you look at the fixtures, like on Friday the 21st, there's not too much going on there. You look at Thursday the 20th, again, there's a little bit going on there, but Tom says, thoughts on Van Dijk as captain against France? If that's your only player, then you don't really have a choice. But you know, it's not something you should feel confident in. You're not going to say, oh yeah, a defender against France. Let's go, boys. Let's see what happens. You know, it's not something you can be confident in. But hey, you never know. It's better than nothing. It's better than no captain on that day. I mean, my captain is going to be Pence against Poland on that day. So I'm not one to talk, but I'm not confident about that one. So neither should you be on Van Dijk on that day, I don't think. A few of you guys are actually asking me to make a wildcard team, so I think we'll just do that. Let's get up a new tab. Let's do a private tab or incognito tab. That allows me to just build a team from scratch. Yeah, quick tip here, guys, by the way, if you ever want to build a team from scratch, I'm going to build a fresh team. Just open up a incognito tab, and it's as if you never logged in. Otherwise, you've got to log out and like switch accounts or stuff like that. Who has the time? Ayum Morjani says, feel like my midfield is lacking with Kanaloglu, Shaqiri, Szoboszlai in it. I also have Kane, CR7 and Mbappe. Should I wildcard, and who should I bring in? Yeah, your midfield is lacking a little bit. You are going to have to replace Mbappe as well. If your defense is also a mess, then maybe wildcard. But if the rest of your team looks good and those are the only issues, then just sell Mbappe, sell Shaqiri, and keep the rest. Okay, let's make a team here. So we're definitely going to go Ronaldo. Definitely going to go Musiala. And this, by the way, is a wildcard team for you guys to use. We did make one for the video the other day, but we'll do another. We'll do a fresh one. I like the look of the cheap goalkeepers, actually, for this week. So we could go Rajkovic and who was the other one? Maybe a Stanek. Good money saving exercise. Lineups are out already. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. In that case, let's go back to. Are they out on Twitter? I presume. They're a little early, but we don't mind. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Right, we'll look at this later. Well, we'll look at it shortly. Okay, so let's go. What am I searching here? Well, it should be on my homepage, really. Somewhere on my homepage. Someone will have retweeted it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so yes, no. There's a few changes, isn't there? So hzfCWh is still playing. I'm trying to work out the formation here. Who's playing left back? No real surprise that Guardiola was starting, by the way. Interesting. Was that Perisic left back? No Budimir as a striker. So is that Kramaric going to be playing in the middle? I can't work out where everyone is playing in this team, if I'm totally honest. Perisic left back. Guardiola centre back. Juranovic right back. hzfCWh centre back. Yeah, I think. That's hard to say. Okay, so Guardiola not as a left back, I think puts me off a little. Because it makes it more difficult to hit those super high scores with him. Go away for match day for a predicted lineup. Is that actually going to... Is that this? Did they put predicted lineups up? Oh no, you need to go. Otherwise, I'm gonna get. How do I get rid of you? How do I shrink this? Guy in a hat. There you go. Just a nice view of the stadium instead. Okay, so reckons. Yeah. Okay, exactly what I said. Perisic left back, Dranovic right back, Guardiola and Sutalo centre backs. Petkovic as a central striker, Kramaric left wing as expected. Yeah, no. I think we're going to leave that one. Anyway, let's go back to this because I thought this was pretty interesting. So, final update on the Matchday 2 projected goals and clean sheet odds via spread betting markets. This is from Rob T FPL. And we have Croatia now the highest clean sheet odds, followed by Germany and England. Switzerland in 4th. No, Belgium in 4th. Switzerland in 5th. Highest projected goals is Germany. 2nd is Belgium. So Lukaku and De Bruyne still very much on the cards. 3rd is Portugal. Czech Republic with a 1.75 there is interesting. Maybe that does edge me towards Patrick Schick. In fact, it definitely does. Unless there's anyone else who has high projected goals. Is there a Croatian midfielder or forward I'm confident in? Not really. Already tripled up on Germany and Portugal, or will be tripled up on Germany. Yeah. Interesting. Definitely think this account is worth following on Twitter, guys, if you use Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Definitely worth following. I think I'm going to take a punt on Schick then. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. There's an exit button on the top right, do you say? Where is that? Where's the exit button? I don't have an exit button. Yeah. Okay, well, there you go, guys. There's your Croatia lineup. That's, I think a little bit disappointing on Guardiola to see him as a centre-back. I still think he's a good pick. What is happening now? Stop. I think he's still a good pick. I think confirmation of Kramaric on the left wing is less appealing. Major is an interesting one if you were on a wild card. Let's go back to our wild card team. We've got a bit more information now. So let's go back to the wild card draft that I was making just a second ago, and we'll factor that in. So let's go for some Croatian players. We want at least 2, I think. They've got the best clean sheet odds. Do we double up? Still think I'd go for Guardiola if I was on a wild card. Not sure I'd use free transfers on him. After that, was there a cheap defender maybe that we can go for? Now we have the team news. No, we don't have a cheap defender really. I guess we go for. Would you really want the 2 centre backs though? I don't know if you would. People saying doing a Limitless. We'll do this one and then we'll make some upgrades for Limitless. You know what? There's not great value for money in the Croatian defence. There really isn't. Could you go for the goalkeeper, Livakovic, at 5 million? Alright, let's just throw Juranovic in for now, but I'm open to changing that one. Double Croatia defence. Let's go, baby. Alright, after that, I think let's move into the midfield position. Actually, no, there's a couple other defenders I would like. So I'd definitely like to have, where are you? Mark Gay. I'd like to have, if I can find a Kanji, I want him as well. Where are you, Akanji? Well, if we need to save some money, we can downgrade a Kanji to a Vidma or Share. This is the wild card, yes. I'm not playing any chips, though. Just to reassert this. Then let's move into the midfield position. Because I want Bruno. Where are you, Bruno? I want Bruno, for sure. After that, a little more difficult. Depends on budget. But I guess Verts. We can go for... We need an England attacker. It'll be Saka, Bellingham or Kane. I'm not sure which one. And then we need a third Germany player, which is going to be Havertz or Mittelstat. Depends if you want to triple up on the attack or not. I don't know which one is the more sensible play, to be honest. I think at this point you can go anywhere, really. Alright, so let's think of some other midfielders. Baumgartner, maybe? Of Austrian fame. 6.5, not bad. Definitely an interesting pick. We afford De Bruyne? Probably not. Yeah, midfield's tough. So it's Mittelstat or Havertz, isn't it? It's going to be really. So if we put in Mittelstat, how much money are we going to have? Can we get in? Can we afford to go for Kane? Oh, 11 million. Oh, that's my daily alarm reminding me to make my transfers. Nice. If we go for Kane, that gives us 13 million. So we can go for 7 million and a 6 million. Or a... Let's be fair, midfielders, there's not too much at that kind of price. So we'd have to forego an England midfielder pretty much. Foden I would stay well clear of. It would have to be Saka or Bellingham for me if you're going for an England midfielder. Or we could switch things up and remove Verts and go for Havertz. I mean, to be fair, if I had you know what? I probably would go like this. If I'm totally honest, Havertz and Musiala, one Germany player in each position, kind of like that. And then we could afford to go for Bellingham. And we have even more money to spend on midfielders. You know what? I like this. This looks good. Super chat from Sahil says, Lukaku, Mbappe, Rodri, Verts, Gundogan, Szoboszlai, Van Dijk, Gay, Middlestat, DeMarco, Face, Verbruggen, Diego Costa, Bruno, Ronaldo, chip or transfers. Just sell Mbappe. You're good to go. Yeah, no need for chips. No need for chips on that team. It's not bad enough. That team looks like it's well set up. You try to set up for Matchday 2 anyway. So trust your initial decisions. Sell Mbappe. Sell probably Szoboszlai. And go nuts, my friend. So what can we afford here? If we went to De Bruyne, we'd only have 5 million left. So not super convinced by that. I don't hate it. You know what? We could save some money here. No, changed my mind. Right. I've got a plan. This isn't saving money, but I think we go for Face again. And I think we go Livakovic like that. And it doesn't change our money situation, but I think I prefer that setup. A little safer. We just need 2 midfielders for 14.5. And I'm trying to build a template safe team. And the only real way to go from here is to go a little punty. So let's just go a little punty. And then hopefully, can we find a reasonably expensive player to make up the final player of the team? Anyone looks good value for money? Could go Kvara. Could go Mudryk. You know, it's actually a struggle to spend all the money. We can make some upgrades. We're going to make some upgrades, I think. I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling to spend all this money. We go Baumgartner. We've got 1.5 million left. And this, by the way, is one of the reasons I don't really like Limitless for Matchday 2. Even if you were to spend all your money, like how much is your team going to cost? Like your Limitless teams that you're building, like how much do they actually cost? Because you've got 105 million budget. I would be struggling to spend 105 million on Limitless. Which is why I prefer Wildcard this week to Limitless. I know it probably doesn't help a lot of people who have already hit the button, but like what upgrades honestly are you making here? You're probably picking De Bruyne just for the sake of it because he costs a lot. Put Trent in? I prefer Gay to Trent. I could do. I mean, aside from upgrading the backup goalkeeper, Chris asking, can you do a Limitless team with the best players? It kind of already is the best players. It's so difficult to really build a team. Oh, people really want me to build a Limitless. All right, well, okay, we're gonna upgrade Stanek to a different goalkeeper. We'll maybe do Pickford. Maybe Pickford. They've definitely play on different days, don't they? Yeah, I should know this. Stones instead of Gay. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay, that's not so bad. All right, well that's the wild card team. Let's go again. Let's go again for Limitless. Can I reset this team? That's not going to reset this one, is it? No. Okay. So again, we're picking the same players as last time. But at this point, we're just going to spend money for the sake of it. So we're just going to go like, we're going to go Livakovic, and we're going to go probably like a Pickford or a Casteels or someone. We're going to just, instead of a middle stat, we're just going to pick a Rudiger. Don't know if that's really an upgrade or not, but, you know, you have the money, you may as well spend it. You probably go Cancelo. Who, to be fair, maybe is one player I missed out on in this is possibly, yeah, let's go Costa, and then we have some Portugal defensive cover. I think that's probably wise. Yeah, we'll go Cancelo just because you have the money, so why not? You go Guardiola. You go... No, I'm just trying to find an excuse to spend money that it doesn't really need to be spent. I mean, I'd still pick a Kanji. And then Stones, I guess. And then in midfield, you and forwards, we go Musiala for sure. Do we go Wirtz just so we could have Kane? Rather than, I prefer Havertz. I guess we're trying to spend the money, aren't we? Why can't I go for Kane? I'm already tripled up on England. Let's pick a different goalkeeper then. Casteels is the goalkeeper I want. Where are you, Casteels? There you are, young man. And finally, another midfielder. Like Modric? Maybe? And there we go. We've got a nice, really expensive Limitless team. FPL Baz says, why are you wildcard later? Can you talk chip strategies? I mean, yeah, sure. It's a little late in the day to be thinking about this, but basically, I think the quarterfinals is going to throw up some issues for people's teams, and I don't really see too much value in, looking at this team for Matchday 2, which is, I think, a similar team to what a lot of people will be wildcarding to. It's similar to what a lot of people have anyway. If you set up something similar to this in Matchday 1, then you don't really need to wildcard if you set up nicely for Matchday 1 and 2. Of course, if your team looks terrible now for whatever reason, injuries, players who are now super rotation risk, or players you're just not happy with, then absolutely play a chip. But if you can solve it in 2 transfers, which I think most people will be able to do if they planned for both Matchday 1 and Matchday 2. And if you've got a lot of Netherlands players, you've got a lot of, what other team has a tough fixture? If you have a lot of Netherlands, Italy, Spain, then you're probably not going to be massively well set up for Matchday 2. And if that's the case, then yeah, you wildcard. But if you didn't and you planned out to your team for Matchdays 1 and 2, then yeah, that's probably going to mean you don't need a wildcard in Matchday 2, probably. And therefore, quarterfinals could be a really nice opportunity to use it. Even more so now, if Mbappe is back during the quarterfinals, that means everyone is going to need to use at least one of their 3 free transfers in Matchday 5 on Mbappe. And that's going to be a matchday where we're going to see some shocks. We're going to see some surprises. A huge advantage to wildcarding in Matchday 5 is that you can look at Matchday 4 as an individual match day. You can look at it and just, rather than thinking, who is going to go through to the next round, who is going to get knocked out, and worrying about shock results, you can just look at the match day 4 and say, which players are going to score the most points? I'm going to pick those players, no matter how risky they are in terms of whether their team will progress or not. After match day 5, you actually get quite a lot of free transfers to use. But Matchday 5 itself, I think people are going to really struggle with the limited amount of transfers that you have available to you for that match day. So it's just a different strategy. For some people, wildcarding it in Matchday 2 is going to be better. Or even wildcarding Matchday 3 if you want to do it that way. There's many options and no one option is right. But if you've already started strategizing prior to Matchday 1, you should try and stick with it, unless a lot of things have changed, in which case you should abandon the plan or create a new plan, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with, by the way. But looking at these 2 teams, so this is the wildcard team you see in front of you now. This is the Limitless team. Like, honestly, I can definitely see the wildcard team outscoring the Limitless team, which is not something we should be saying. We should be saying with confidence that the wildcard team is better than the Limitless team. And no, the Limitless team is better than the wildcard team. And I'm not sure that we can say that, which just puts me off Limitless this week. I think you can do a really solid wildcard. And then next match day, when we have a lot of teams with more favourable fixtures, a lot of big teams with more favourable fixtures. We can go in on Spain, we can go in on Portugal, we can go in on Belgium again, we can go in on England again. We can go crazy with all of the big teams. France will be back on the menu after their game against Netherlands. There's a lot of opportunity to go crazy spending in matchday 3, whereas matchday 2, because a lot of the big teams are playing against each other, it's a little bit tougher. KDB not in a Limitless team. Well, who would you throw him in instead of Modric? I guess that works. Why would you make budget picks, Mittelstat on Gay on Limitless? Well, I mean, I would be tempted to. I think Mittelstat is a really good pick at any price. We'll play, yeah. We'll talk about, they've got a couple of super chats, and then we'll talk about resting players. So Ross says, help please. I have Stanek, Pickford, Face, Trent, Mittelstat, DeMarco. This is a lot of players. You just want to know what transfers to make. Okay, sell. Can you sell Jorginho and Mbappe? Sell Jorginho and Mbappe. Bring in. Can you get to? You can't get to Havertz. Bring in Ronaldo. And then you can upgrade Jorginho to a 6 million player. If we can find a 6 million player for you, Ross, then we're good to go. Let's find a 6 million midfielder for you. Granit Xhaka. Don't mind Granit Xhaka. That's probably about it, to be fair. Duda? Interesting, if nothing else. Let's say Xhaka. Yeah, there you go. So, Ross. Mbappe and Jorginho to Ronaldo and Xhaka. And you're good to go, my friend. And JSY says, hope you're doing well, Dan. I am. Thank you very much. Thoughts on Mbappe, Shaqiri to CR7 and Major. Have 1 million spare. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like those moves. Looks good. Definitely, if you don't have Ronaldo, I think he's a very good Mbappe replacement. I think a lot of people will be doing that, to be fair. So there you have it. People, yeah, I know people are obviously going to mention Arda Güler because he scored a lot of points in matchday 1, but I don't think I'd take him against Portugal, personally. I do prefer Xhaka. So anyway, thank you very much for the super chat, guys. I will go back to the whole rotation in matchday 3. Yes, there will be a little bit of rotation in matchday 3, but if anything, it won't be as much as you think. By the way, we're not talking about teams, you know, switching up their entire starting 11s. It won't be anything quite that significant. But yes, there will be rotation in matchday 3 a little bit, particularly for teams that are already well and truly qualified in first in their group, which is not going to be as many teams as you think. Teams who are like second place and third place and even fourth place will still have a lot to compete for with the third place qualifications. And what we'll have in matchday 3 is far more important than the slight rotation that you might expect. What's far more important is that we will have a very, very clear idea of what each team will need to do. So if we see, for example, okay, Belgium need to win, need to at least draw their game to go through, but their opposition, let's just remind myself what their opposition is. Ukraine. Okay, this is just an example. I know it's like, I don't know if this will be the case or not, but okay, Belgium, well, we might have a scenario where Belgium need to at least draw their game to guarantee first in their group or guarantee qualification for their group, and Ukraine need to win by at least 2 goals. What we'll then have is a Belgium who have a lot to play for and a Ukraine team that will come out to attack And therefore, we can say, okay, Belgium attackers, very important. Belgium still have something to play for, which most likely they will, given their matchday 1 result. Ukraine will have to come out attack. Okay, that means they can't sit back. Lukaku, De Bruyne, bringing them into the team, perfect. And we're going to have lots of little situations like that throughout the match day. Some teams will rotate, particularly players who are, maybe perhaps not as fit or not as readily available. Players who have had injury issues, players who have played a lot of minutes might get rotated. But players like, if England win both of their opening games, and it doesn't look like anyone else is winning their opening games, then England might bench Kane. I would say a player like Saka is more likely to be benched than a Kane. So I think it's definitely important to play a chip in matchday 3, but I don't know. I think there is more opportunity to spend money because particularly in defence, where the centre-backs are probably not going to be rotated. And the centre-backs in this game actually seem to be more expensive. Like, Rudigers and Guardiols and Akanjis and Stones and all these other players who you would say are reasonably nailed on in their team are actually, like Bastoni maybe, are a little bit more expensive. And I think money can be spent there. Key players who never get benched ever. Bruno Fernandes is not going to get rested in matchday 3, no matter what. You're going to need to have access to him. Who's the first? What's the first fixture actually for matchday 3? I think it's 2 at the same time, isn't it, for matchday 3? Will it be Croatia? No, it's not Croatia versus Italy. So matchday 3. Who are the two fixtures that are on first? Is it Hungary versus someone? Probably just like have a look at this. Where's the matches tab? Let's go on the other screen. Super chat here from Brosner, by the way, says Major, Juranovic, Mittelstadt, Musiala, Wirtz, who to captain? Captain Musiala, I think. I say Musiala. Oh, so actually it's 8 o'clock kickoffs. It's just 8 o'clock kickoffs for matchday 3, so that's why I was getting confused. So you'll have the Germany lineup, which is really nice, and you'll have the Hungary lineup. You're probably going to want to bring Szoboszlai back into your team matchday 3 against Scotland. You're going to have the Germany lineup, so that'll be really, really useful. So you'll know about rotation there. And outside of that, you want to be picking the expensive nailed-on players, and that's why I think Limitless and matchday 3 I prefer. So yes, there will be a little bit of rotation. I think that makes it even more important to spend the money. I hope that does make sense, by the way, guys. But yeah, no one right way to play this game. There's definitely different options. Definitely different options. What chip strategy am I on? I'm on Limitless Matchday 3 and Wildcard Matchday 4. I'm pretty set on that, to be fair. Yeah. With this, if I was to wildcard, my wildcard team would look a little bit like this. I don't know if it'll look exactly like this, and there's probably some opportunities to go elsewhere with certain players. Definitely think you could save money in the goalkeeper slots if you needed to. I'm not exactly sure where. Might be nice to try and get Cancelo in if you can, but that might be involved doing Stones and Costa to... Actually, no, you wouldn't be able to afford that. Livakovic maybe could be downgraded. Is it worth having Neuer instead of Havertz? Definitely not, no. Havertz is a better pick than Neuer. Like, the top picks from Germany are Havertz, Musiala, Wirtz, Mittelstadt, Rudiger, and Gundogan still, to be fair. I'd still put Gundogan in that conversation. Kroos, if you're really scraping the barrel financially, but yeah, not super keen. Would you pick Stones or Arnold if you're on Limitless? I would pick Stones. Rodri or Kvara out for Verts? Probably Rodri. Probably. Is Shaqiri starting? I don't know. We haven't got lineups for the 8 o'clock game. It's not for another 6.5 hours. I'm going to predict no though. I'm predicting no. Gundogan or Verts captain. Captains for Germany. Havertz, Musiala, and Verts are my and Musiala are my top 4. I would say. Best ball recovery monsters, Akanji. Akanji is your ball recovery monster. Absolutely insane. He was like averaging the highest amount of ball recoveries per game throughout qualification. And then he comes in match day 1 and gets 11. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, he's your like ball recovery monster. Like he's him. He's him. Rank the German captains. Okay. I wonder if there's like a tier list. Can I search for tier lists? How do you search for tier lists on this thing? Germany, Euro 2024. Oh, here we go. Right. Now we've got to try and recognise everyone's faces. Is the whole squad here? Okay. Verts, you can go in A tier. Where is Musiala? Some of these are old photos. Have Trossard. Should I keep or change to Major or someone else? Also have Verts, Gundogan, Bruno, and Jorginho. Maybe change him to Major. Maybe. If you want to. I don't think you need to sell Trossard necessarily. Jorginho is probably the midfielder you need to sell the most, but I'm guessing you don't have any money to do that. To be fair. So, yeah, maybe. Right, let's go. Let's put Havertz in. Havertz, I think, for Germany, is an S tier captain. I'm going to put Leroy Sané down here. Is Gnabry even in the squad? I don't know if he is. Müller doesn't start. I don't know why I used this. Gundogan is a B tier captain. He is B tier. There you are, Musiala. Right, Musiala goes in S tier. I think. I can't even see Mittelstadt in here. Tony Kroos can go in C tier. Where is Mittelstadt? You're not going to captain the goalkeeper. So we'll put goalkeepers in there. You're probably not going to start. You're not going to captain you, really. Lots of D tiers, to be fair. Oh well. This is a weird way of doing things. I'm sure a lot of people won't even know who each of these players are because they don't have their names on, but hopefully you get a general idea for this. Are you using Limitless? No, I'm not. I'm not using chips. I promise you guys, I know a lot of people I get a lot of questions. Daddy, you're using a chip. I'm not. I really, 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 I promise you I'm not. Yeah. I think I just need to put. You know what, Rudiger. I'm gonna put him in B tier for captain. I don't mind him. Taz's gonna go in C tier. Is Mittelstadt even on here, or am I just blind? Right, let's find a picture of Mittelstadt, and I'm going to put it next to each of them on my screen. Right, not you. Not you. Is he... Am I losing my mind? He's not on here, is he? Yeah. Is that him? Is this him? Guys, can someone confirm if that is Mittelstadt? Because I'm not going to lie, I thought that was Kimmich. I'm now realising that Mittelstadt and Kimmich look quite a lot like each other. Yeah. That's Kimmich, right? All right. Pretend Timo Werner is Mittelstadt, and we're going to put him in B tier. There you go. Yeah, that's why I put. Yeah, he's Kimmich, isn't it? I put him in D tier because I thought, oh, yeah, that's Kimmich. We'll put it straight in D tier. But I think they look similar. I might bug him. Kimmich, Mittelstadt. Do they look similar? Find a big picture of them together. And that's not them together. I think they look alike. Can we get a big version of this, please? Even if it does have a watermark. They look alike, you know. They could be brothers. They could be brothers. They really could. Mittelstadt is beside Sula. Where? No, he's not. Mittelstadt is manlier looking. Is he? Maybe? These guys are twins, I'm sure. I never realised that before. These guys are twins. Alright, I think we've come to the conclusion that the Mittelstadt is not on this tier list. So, okay, we've done that. That's fun. Now, we had a bit of fun with that one. Let's move on. Let's move on from that. Oh, dearie me. All right, let's go back to the chat. Lewis says, who's on pens for Germany? I think it is probably going to go back to being Gundogan, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's guaranteed. FPL Worm says, Captain Akanji? I mean, in a way, you could, but I think I'll just go for a Germany player. I mean, it seems sensible to go for a Germany player, right? Thoughts on the Ukraine forwards, Dovbyk and Sigankov? Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. You can save money on goalkeepers and buy Saka to replace another midfielder. Is it worth it? I don't know if I'd want to double up on England midfield, really. Although, would I? I think if I was to downgrade the goalkeepers, I would bring in Costa for someone. Maybe even for... I'm not sure who for. Not Costa, Cancelo, sorry. I bring in Cancelo. So that's probably what I would personally do. Shaqiri captain, I don't think I would go there, personally. Thoughts on Sabitzer for Jorginho? Yeah, don't mind that. Don't mind that. Is Kramaric a good pick? He's fine. Plays a little wide for my liking. Havertz or Musiala captain? Tough one. Tough one. I think the odds are favouring Havertz, though. Odds are favouring Havertz. The Musiala is more likely to get points from other things. So it brings Musiala back into the conversation. I think I'm going to captain Musiala. But I don't think I'm going to have Havertz, in fairness. So that's a big reason why. Best 5 million defender for Matchday 2. I like a Kanji a lot. You could also go for a for potentially a guy from Croatia as well if you wanted to. I'm just sorting out my own team here, guys. I do apologise. Yeah, I think I'm going Musiala captain. I know you guys can't see what's on my screen right now, but that's fine by me. Yeah, I think we're going to be Musiala fans today. It's going to be fun. Do you think Shaqiri will start? No, I do not. I do not think Shaqiri will start. Can I go out without England players for Matchday 2 wildcard? You could. You could. I would at least grab a defender. I'd at least grab a Gay because he's quite cheap. You may as well. You may as well. Seems sensible. Sanchez says, mate, please, one question. Do you have an idea if Mendes is starting? I have no idea, man. It's not for another 4 days, so really difficult to say at this point. I started the first game, which is a positive sign, but, you know, Portugal could just as easily change system for the second game, go over back four with Cancelo in one of the fullback positions instead. Sahil says, I already got Wirtz, Gundo, and Mittel stat. How about transfer Szoboszlai and Mbappe out? Yeah, if you want to. If you haven't got Ronaldo, go for him. If you haven't got Kane, go for him. If you haven't got Lukaku, go for him. So, yes, you're going to be missing one of Lukaku, Kane, and Ronaldo. There's your striker sorted. And then after that, depends what your midfield budget is. But Major at Croatia looks like an okay shout. The Austrian midfielder guy, Baumgartner, looks like an okay shout. Well, to be honest, I don't even think Szoboszlai is that bad. You could just keep Szoboszlai and upgrade a different area of your pitch. If you've got like a DeMarco, for example, I think I'd rather switch DeMarco to a Guardiola than I would a Szoboszlai to whoever. Is Saka worth it? He's fine. He's a good pick. He's a good pick. Sudikov or Baumgartner? I think I'd go for Baumgartner. Ronaldo and Major or Havertz and KDB? Ronaldo and Major. Ronaldo is your top pick. If you don't have Ronaldo, you buy Ronaldo. I think that's a pretty straightforward one, I think. Wirtz or De Bruyne? Wirtz. Yeah, Germany. Tripling up on Germany is your first priority. I think if you don't have Ronaldo or you don't have triple Germany, that is the first thing you do. If you resolve that. Get Ronaldo, get triple Germany, get Bruno Fernandes if you don't have him already as well. Another very high priority. Captain, I would go for a Germany player. Pick your favourite Germany player. Who you think is going to score the most points. Shaqiri out for -4. I don't think I would take a -4 this match day, to be totally honest with you guys. I just don't think -1 at -4 would be the play. Things with the substitutions, you need your new player that you're bringing in to outscore all of your substitutes by 4 points. All of them. Which means getting a 6-pointer if your worst sub gets, or your best sub gets 2 points. If your best substitute is getting 3 or 4 points, then you need your replacement to score 4 more points than the player you're selling. And the 4, and plus the -4, so I need to get 8 more points, which is a lot. So yeah, I don't think, if you've got a full squad of players, I don't think -4 is really worth it, because your substitutes will really help you out there. Schick or Mitrovic? I think I prefer Schick. Milstat or Rudiger with Limitless draft? I think I'd just get Rudiger, I suppose, if you're on Limitless. I tripled Croatian defenders and goalkeeper. Good luck. Good luck. Who do I captain from Germany? There's loads of options. I don't think there's a right answer with Germany captain, so I'm not going to commit to one, really. I think the sensible choices are probably between Havertz and Musiala. But I don't think they're the only answers. Not by a long stretch. I feel like that's just going to be the question for the next 15 minutes, is it? Who should I captain? Who should I captain? Who should I captain? All right. Should I just say Captain Havertz? There we go. Captain Havertz. Alex says, can you make a wildcard team, please? That is what you are looking at on screen. You are looking at the wildcard team. AJ says, so close to 200k subs, Dan. Yeah, man. It's close. We need another... How many? Oh, my word. That's flown up. 339 to go. Wow. Yeah, we are really closing in on 200k. That's nuts. I need to celebrate, man. When that happens. If it happens, you know, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. I could drop a stinker video next week that gives the worst fantasy tips you've ever seen in your life. Everyone unsubscribes and we never hit 200k. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Basma says, worth switching Trossard for Bellingham. If you've got a free transfer and nothing else to do, why not? There's a lot of complicated questions here. Noel says, how would you get Mbappe back? Assuming he's back in the quarterfinals, I'm planning using my wild card for the quarterfinals. So that will be the way I do it. But if he's back in matchday 3, I'll use my Limitless there. If he's back in matchday 4, well, we get unlimited transfers in matchday 4 anyway. So, yeah, it's there's a few different ways depending on when Mbappe's back, but we got it covered. We got it covered. I think we're not too concerned about that one. $200k before kickoff. No, that's not happening. Unfortunately, there's only 15 minutes. But I tell you what. By the time we do our next live stream, which will be... When will that be? It will be on the 23rd of June, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday? Yeah, okay, so Sunday. We'll probably have it done by Sunday, maybe even. Nah, maybe not. But certainly... on the live stream on Sunday, I think we'll be close. Yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait. I need to get like a party popper or something. It'll be fun. That will be fun. Schick or Karamarich? I prefer Schick. I think Schick is emerging as one of my favourite forwards, actually, to go for matchday 2. Antita says, fun, major, or safe Musiala for first captain. I think Musiala is fun, by the way. I think Musiala and Havertz are fun captains. Because they're not your typical, you know, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Kane, you know, they have got a little bit more spice to them. So I do think they are still fun captains. If I'm going for a fun captain on day one, it's probably going to be Mittelstadt again. Because he looked like he could have easily scored a decent amount of points in that opening match day. Wasn't to happen, but you never know. Positive signs for future points. Best 5 defenders for match day 2. Akanji, Guardiola, someone from England. Don't know. An Englishman of any variety. After that, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of options. Yeah, whole bunch of options. Jude or Saka? If money is no issue, I go for Jude Bellingham over Saka. Croatia or France defender? I have no captain for the 21st at the moment. Literally no captain. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I won't worry too much. You still have 3 captains. That's more than you get in FPL, which is 1, to be fair. Double Swiss defence? I don't mind double Swiss defence. I don't mind that, to be fair. I think that's okay. Thoughts on Arda Güler? Wouldn't want him against Portugal, really. Why nobody talks about the French defence? Because they're playing against the Netherlands, who are a pretty strong attack. Best England defender for Limitless? I would probably just go with John Stones. Sensible. No need to take risks with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Even though I do think Alexander-Arnold will probably play, I don't think it's a guarantee there. And England, if you're going to go for an England defender, you want to have someone who's locked in to start, really. Bellingham or De Bruyne? Tough. Not sure. Not much in it. Not much in it. Is Hernandez a bad shout? I wouldn't buy Hernandez against Netherlands, no. Musiala for Shaqiri or Guardiola for De Kuyper? Up to you. Both good moves. Both good moves. Havertz and Musiala or Wirtz and Ronaldo? I'm going to say Wirtz and Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is important to get. Like, pretty important. Bellingham captain or someone from Germany? Well, because of the captain switching rule, you captain someone from day one. So you captain someone from Germany or Croatia, really. And then if it doesn't work out, you can move your captain to someone else at a later date. Kane tomorrow, probably. Going to be big. Bellingham or Saka. After that, not really too much going on the 21st. And then on the 22nd, we've got the likes of Ronaldo. I think he's a nice captain to finish off the week. Do you prefer Havertz over Kane? Not much in it. Not much in it. I think Havertz is much better at value for money, but he also locks you out of a third German player. So I like them both. They both have their merits. Will Guehi start? Yes, he will. Captain Wirtz or Gundogan? I prefer Wirtz. Should we just put a captain poll in? Then I don't have to keep answering this question. Right, I should have done this earlier. We should do more polls. Well, next from streams for the rest of the tournament, we'll do more polls. Let's say put Havertz options. Havertz, Musiala, Wirtz, or someone else. Who's the best captain for today? Havertz, Musiala, Wirtz, or someone else. There are your options. Not very long to lock in the results, but let's see what you guys say. And then and then you guys can come to the right conclusion yourselves, rather than me answering the same question over and 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 over again. I appreciate people join the stream at different times, but for those of you who stick around for the whole stream, you must be so sick of me answering who's the best captain over and over again. Man. So yeah, we're just going to have it on screen now. Take a vote. Pick the one that comes out on top if you want to. Captain hzfCWh. Let's go. Really? That's brave. That's brave. Andy says I'm going to Kanji for fun. Why not? Why not? What is there to lose? Max says I've gone Bellingham captain. Thoughts? I'm not a fan of that at all. Because you're missing out on a day one captain if you go Bellingham captain. So I'm very much against that. Ivatino says middle captain for me. Chance for clean sheet and attacking returns. Yeah, I like it. Hamad says, do you get points for players on your bench when you play Limitless? No, you do not. It's not a bench boost. Unfortunately, it's not a bench boost. So it doesn't quite work like that. It'd be fun if it did, though. So yeah, you can just play the game as you would normally. Well, play the match day as you would normally, I guess. Will Shaqiri start? I don't think he will. I don't think Shaqiri will start now. Best forwards for Limitless teams. Lukaku, Ronaldo, Kane and Havertz are the best 4 forwards. Pick 3 of those if you're on Limitless. Triple Germany attack rather than defence. I've got no problem with triple Germany attack. Got no problem with that. Musiala, Wirtz and Havertz is a nice triple up. But Mittelstat value for money is still unmatched in Euro Fantasy. Even though he didn't quite come off in match day 1, I still think he's crazy. Big Bad Wolf says, I can't play for fun. There's 20 of us in a league and the bottom 10 play for food and drinks for the top half. That is amazing. That is amazing. I love that. But you should still probably play for fun. But I enjoy the excess competition. Stones or Trent or Limitless? I think Stones. Who's on the bench? Can you guys not see the bench? Oh no, well, they're all on the screen, aren't they? Oh, by the way, I'll flash this is the Limitless team on screen here. So if you want to go for something Limitless, something like that would be the kind of thing I'd go for. But this is the Wildcard team again on screen now. Jandre says, hi Dan, I'm not playing Euro Fantasy, taking a break to be fresh for the new FPL season, but I thought I'd pop in and say hi. It's been a while. It has been a while, Jandre. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Hope you're doing all right. And yeah, we'll see you back very soon, next few weeks when FPL returns. I'm sure. Have you made your transfers yet? Yes, I have. Yes, I have, actually. Gundogan or Havertz for captain, help me. The poll will help you. The poll is there to help you. Shad says, "Is this your team, Dan?" No, this is a Wildcard team. People have been asking for like the best players for match day 2. So I thought I'd just throw together a Wildcard team and a Limitless team. I think it's just good because you just have a bunch of. Well, one, it helps people on a Wildcard, but it also helps people if they're looking for new players for their team. They're looking for new picks. Then it just gives a whole bunch of options all on screen at once, which is nice, I think. Pretty nice. Kane or Mitrovic? I mean, Kane. If money isn't an issue, you go for Kane over Mitrovic. And by the way, guys, this wildcard team is like just a rough guide. If you don't like any players here, you want to switch things up a little, then there's definitely some scope there. Remzinho says, how many ball recoveries does Guardiola get at centre-back? I believe it was during qualifying. It was around 5.5. I can't remember the exact number. Something like 5.57. So 5.5 is decent amount of ball recoveries per appearance in qualifying. So you can expect him to get full recovery points. You can expect him to. Hayden says, how does captaining a player work each game day? Okay, you've got 3 minutes, Hayden. What I would say to you is just captain a Germany player right now. So get that Germany captain sorted. And then go and watch the how to play video on this channel. And then once you've watched that video, you'll know what to do for the rest of the match day. So, yes, that is what I would advise you do. Major is an awful pick, says Charles. Like I said, just a guide. If you don't like any of the players, feel free to switch it up. Switch it up if you need to. And anyone's still asking for captains, you've got like 2 minutes till kickoff, by the way. You are really cutting it fine. Probably less than 2 minutes. You've got like 1 minute till kickoff. Look at the poll. Musiala and Havertz seem to be the top 2 picks. Just going to make sure my team is looking good before we go. Do it on my phone because we want to leave this on screen for you guys. Yeah, I'm going to go Musiala captain. I'm going to go Musiala captain. People ask about who would be on the bench. Whoever the players on the bench would be the players who just play later on in the match day. Again, go watch the honestly, go watch the how to play video. If you need to know how benching works, how captaining works, go watch the how to play video. How do I select a vice captain? There's no vice captains in Euro Fantasy. There's no vice captains. We're like so close to kickoff. I want to go watch this game. I'm going to miss the first couple of minutes at this rate, but that's fine. I'd rather stick with you guys right until deadline today. Score predictions, guys. Croatia versus Albania. What are you saying? Bo says Lukaku in for Mappa. Yes, I would do that. I would do that. When Gundo captain. Nice, that's nice. When the price changes come into play, they might come into play literally in a couple of minutes' time. It's kind of unclear in the rules if it's going to happen for match day 2 or for match day 3. I guess we'll find out. I guess we will find out. 4-0 Croatia, says Charles. 1-0 Albania, says Animations. We're locked in, guys. We're locked in. Deadline is passed for another week. There we go, guys. I don't need to put that on screen anymore. We can put my team on screen now. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Hopefully you guys got your decisions in on time. I'm going to end the poll. Looks like Musiala won that one. I'm Captain Musiala myself, so yeah, I think I agree with you guys on the Musiala captain pick. Tina says Guardiola 3-0, Guardiola hat-trick, Livakovic 3 assists. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I think at that point, you just quit Euro Fantasy if you don't own those players, because like that is so unpredictable. Big Tip says Albania had already scored against Italy by now. Yeah, they really had, which is quite crazy to say. But guys, I want to go and watch the game, so I'm going to go off and do that. But I appreciate you guys joining me again today. I need to keep up my streak of watching every game at the Euros. We're not going to miss a single game. Yeah, we'll be back. Not tomorrow. Friday. I think we'll be back for Friday for another video. So videos Friday, Saturday, stream Sunday. And there we go. That's what we'll be doing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, appreciate you guys a lot, especially all the support recently. We are very close to 200,000 subscribers, so if you haven't done that already, please consider doing so. Like I say, really close, but I'm sure we'll get that within the next week or so. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, enjoy the football, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.